The 25th Virginia Volunteer Infantry Regiment was an infantry regiment raised in Virginia for service in the Confederate States Army during the American Civil War. It fought mostly with the Army of the Northwest and Army of Northern Virginia. Its brave soldiers saw action from the first battle until the last. The 25th Virginia was organized during the early summer of 1861. Its members were raised in Upshur, Augusta, Highland, Bath, Pendleton, and Rockbridge counties. The unit participated in Lee's Cheat Mountain Campaign and Jackson's Valley Campaign. In the spring of 1862 to the 9th Battalion, Virginia Infantry, 4 companies under the command of Lt. Colonel George W. Hansborough that had served in the Army of the Northwest and fought at Greenbrier River and Camp Allegheny were merged into the 25th Virginia. After the July 11, 1861 Battle of Rich Mountain, the regiment was severely depleted due to Col. Pegram's surrender of Camp Garnett. Members of 1st Co. A and 1st Co. B were dispatched to Hart's Farm under command of Captain Julius A. de Lignell to ward off an expected Federal assault. Men of the 20th VA and 25th VA, along with a lone cannon, took position in the stable yard of the Hart Farm and awaited the Federal assault. As the Federals appeared on the hillside, the long-awaited battle that the boys of Virginia had anticipated commenced. The small force of Confederates held back the initial attacks, but overwhelming numbers, along with the final charge of the 19th Ohio, forced the surviving members of the Confederate outpost to flee. The following morning, being cut off and surrounded, Col. Pegram surrendered the balance of his command at Camp Garnett, including the majority of the 25th VA. The 25th lost 5 killed, 11 wounded, and 2 captured at Hart's Farm. Included in the dead were Upshur Gray Privates Henry Clay Jackson and Oscar Sherwood, whose names can be seen engraved in the rock that they defended to this day. After Jackson's campaign finished, the regiment was assigned to General Early's, J.R. Jones, and W. Terry's Brigade, Army of Northern Virginia. It took an active part in the campaigns of the Army from the 7 Days Battles to Cold Harbor, then fought with Early in the Shenandoah Valley and in various conflicts around Appomattox. This regiment reported 18 casualties at Camp Allegheny, 72 at McDowell, and 29 at Cross Keys and Port Republic. It lost 1 killed and 24 wounded at Cedar Mountain, had 3 killed and 20 wounded at Sharpsburg, and reported 1 killed and 13 wounded at Fredericksburg. Of the 280 engaged at Gettysburg, 25% were disabled. There were 15 members of the 25th at Appomattox on April 9, 1865. The field officers were Colonels John C. Higginbotham, George A. Porterfield, and George H. Smith, Lieutenant Colonels Patrick B. Duffy, Jonathan McGee Heck, Robert D. Lilly, and John A. Robinson, and Majors Wilson Harper, Albert G. Reger, and William T. Thompson. John B. Solon claimed to have been a Peter Monkey and Saltpeter miner as a private in Company D, 25th Virginia Infantry, in Scott County, Virginia, during the Civil War, and claimed to be Virginia's last surviving Confederate veteran. Companies: Company A, Upshur Gray's Col. John C. Higginbotham. Company B, Rockbridge Guards, Captain David P. Curry. Company C, Augusta Lee Rifles, Captain Robert D. Lilly. Company D, Highland Rangers, Captain George M. Cafe. Company E, Pendleton Rifles, Captain George H. Smith. Company F, Franklin Guards, Captain John B. Moo Mao. Company G, Bath Grays Bath Rifles, Captain William D. Irvin. Company H, Hardy Blues, Captain J.C.B. Mullen. Company I, Mount Crawford Cavalry, formerly Valley Rifles, Captain William N. Jordan. Company K, South Branch Riflemen, Captain John H. Everly. When the regiment was reorganized in 1862 to bring it back to full strength, the following companies were added from the 9th Battalion Virginia Infantry Company A. Letcher Guards, Captain John A. Robinson. Company C. Braxton Blues, Captain Patrick B. Duffy. Company E. Fighting Company E. Company G. Mollohan's Company, Captain William H. Mollohan. Company I. Pocahontas Rescuers, Captain Daniel A. Stouffer. Company K. Pendleton Minutemen, Captain D.C. Anderson.